Hi, I'm Monica. Welcome to this week's episode of Two Agents and Sunshine Shift. Today, we're going to talk about, we're going to pick up the conversation from last week and we're going to go deeper into the usual street feel, curb appeal, or quiet neighborhood conversations. Here is the truth. Most agents talk about the house. Very few talk about the street, and almost none talk about the right things. If you're moving to Florida, especially from out of state, the street you choose will determine your daily life more than the square footage ever will. So today I'm giving you the 5 things to look for when choosing a street. The 5 things agents never mention, but locals live by, and I learned them by living here. Let's get into it. The first one, the micro ecosystem of the street. Everyone talks about quiet street, nice landscaping, cute homes. That means nothing in Florida, absolutely nothing. What actually matters is the micro ecosystem, how your street behaves as a living system. Here's what to look for. Think about how the street functions. Where does the water flow when it rains? And you can ask people, you can ask neighbors, you can do your research online. Do cars use this street as a shortcut? Is the street at the end of a line or a pass-through? A gorgeous street at 11 a.m. can turn into chaos and nightmare at 5 p.m. The rhythm of the neighbors. You don't need to meet the neighbors to observe them. Just observe. Are garages open all day? Are people gardening, walking, walking dogs, biking? Do you see life, or is everything shut tight? Why does it matter? Because in Florida, open garage culture is real. It tells you everything about comfort, safety, and how people relate and interact to each other. The hidden power of the street layout is another thing to look for. A cul-de-sac feels different than a bend, which feels totally different than a straightaway, right? Curves create privacy. Straight lines create exposure. Corners can feel exposed or unsafe at night. Most agents skip this conversation entirely because they focus on the house, trying to sell you the house, to make you buy the house. The second thing to look for, the sound of the street. We already talked about the walkability. We talk about traffic, but almost no one talks about the sound print, the invisible soundtrack of your daily life. What I tell my buyer to check, and I tell this to every buyer that I work with, the echo of kids playing, dogs barking. Florida has a lot of dogs, and I have one too. AC condenser units from every direction, pool pumps, boats, golf carts, pressure washers, weekend projects going on, highway humming the distance, airport flight path patterns, because we get a lot of planes here. People are visiting Florida. Sound changes dramatically between morning, midday, and evening. A street that is quiet and peaceful at 2 a.m. can sound like an airport at 7 p.m. This is why locals will tell you, don't buy a house until you hear the street at different times of the day. It's not noise, it's lifestyle. And every street, absolutely every street, has a vibe. The third thing you need to look for, the invisible maintenance score. What do I mean by this? This is one of my favorite things to teach my buyers and clients that I work with, and agents never talk about. Every street has an invisible maintenance score, and it tells you exactly how your future neighbors treat their environment and how your life is going to be if you buy on that street. You're looking for roofs aging evenly, similar lawn care standards, Consistent exterior paint quality. Driveways without weeds pushing through. And yes, there are a lot of weeds in Florida. Trash bins kept neatly or not. Cars parked logically, not scattered. Look at how people store boats, RVs, and work trailers. Why it matters? Because people maintain their homes according to the standard of the street, not the standard of the city. A street with even, balanced pride of ownership will always feel more stable and appreciate faster over time. And that's what you want when you buy a home. The fourth thing, the hidden Florida factors. These are the ones only locals know how to check. And they do check, trust me. Wind exposure. Some streets have a natural wind corridor. Great for breezes, terrible for storms. You want a street that is protected by natural tree lines, other homes, elevation. The elevation certificate is extremely important. No long open water channels facing it. The second thing, look for flood patterns. Even outside flood zone, Florida has micro drainage quirks. Does the street slope towards or away from the house? Are there retention ponds nearby? Very important for flash flooding during the storms. How high is the property compared to the street? A street can be in zone X or no flood zone and still flood ankle deep twice a year at least. The third thing, tree canopies versus sunlight. Too many trees, dark, damp, mosquitoes, slow drying roofs. Too few trees, scorching sun, hotter interior. Temperatures high, electrical bills even higher. The sweet spot is balance. Look for wildlife. Look for ducks, raccoons, hawks, iguanas, mosquitoes. Check shaded corners. And yes, sometimes alligators. Every pond comes with an alligator here. You don't see them, but they're there. A street with heavy wildlife presence tell you about water sources, shade, and yard maintenance patterns. Extremely important in Florida. The fifth thing, the future you test. This is my favorite part, and it's overlooked by a lot of agents. But this is one that changes the way that you live your life. Most buyers look at the street and say, do I like it today? The better question is, will this street support the lifestyle I'm growing into? Ask yourself, will you walk your dog here daily? Would you stroll after dinner? Would your kids or grandchildren ride bikes here? Would you feel safe coming home at night? Will the street feel good 5 years from now as the area grows? This is the Florida truth. Some streets feel magical at first, but the daily patterns never settle into comfort. And some streets feel simple, but the rhythm is perfect. You're not just buying a house. You are buying your daily life. When you choose the right street, Florida becomes home faster. The adjustment period shrinks, your happiness expands. And you realize you made a smart move coming here. If you found this helpful, subscribe for more Florida relocation truth. And if you're moving here, especially from Midwest, Northeast, West Coast, message me. I help families not just buy the right home, but the right street, the right rate, and the right Florida start. See you next week in the next video.